Nielsen's coveted Top 10 Most Watched list has revealed a surprise that fans of K-pop Demon Hunters and Superman are not ready for. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. K-pop Demon Hunters has broken a historic number of streaming and music industry records since its release. Here are the most noteworthy records that the Korean flick has broken. K-pop Demon Hunters beat James Gunn's Superman DCU movie on Nielsen's Top 10 Most Watched Movies list for streaming in the US during the week of September 15th to 21st, 2025. According to the latest Nielsen data, K-pop Demon Hunters recorded 828 million minutes of viewing, securing the #1 spot. The film is making waves, prompting Netflix to theatrically release a sing-along with over 1,300-plus sold-out screenings via Tudum. K-pop Demon Hunters beating Superman is indicative that the film's worldwide appeal far exceeds the superhero fatigue that James Gunn is fighting to defeat. Needless to say, K-pop Demon Hunters has officially changed the game for animation and music, changing the hierarchy for better or for worse. On the musical side of things, the soundtrack is being streamed left and right. Here are some of the records the OST has broken. In its debut week, September 15th to 21st, 2025, Superman garnered 513 million minutes viewed. This put it #4 overall in film streaming, despite heavy competition from breakout hits like K-pop Demon Hunters and Ice Road, Vengeance. Superman also accumulated the biggest opening weekend for a Warner Bros. Film on the platform in 2025, outperforming previous DC releases, Blue Beetle, The Flash 2023, and rival Marvel streaming premieres on Disney+. Despite not outpacing K-pop Demon Hunters, James Gunn's DCU flick held strong and continues to do so. What did you think of K-pop Demon Hunters? Let us know in the comments. James Gunn's Superman debut on streaming was very successful, delivering some of the best numbers for a superhero film in 2025. Here are some performance highlights. James Gunn dismissed demands for a blue-gray suited Batman, stating the reverence the character had in pop culture and prioritizing story. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Batman fans have been notoriously particular about who plays their favorite hero. He is one of the most popular superheroes in the world, and all live-action iterations have faced some controversy or another. From Michael Keaton to Ben Affleck to Robert Pattinson, all actors have faced intense backlash when announced, only to be accepted post-release. However, James Gunn is really in a tricky spot when it comes to Batman, as Matt Reeves' version has already been a hit, and Robert Pattinson's Batman will not fit in well with Gunn's DCU. It is currently an Elseworlds project, and the delay in the sequel has also led to a delay in The Brave and the Bold, as the studio does not want two Batmen on screen so close. James Gunn just dismissed fans' demand for a classic Batman with a blue-gray suit in the DCU. He stated that such demands were divisive, with no fan agreeing with the other, and such elements were not a priority for him at the moment, as the co-chief of DC Studios. While Ben Affleck's suit has been the grayest so far, the blue has not been seen in live action. George Clooney's suit was sort of blue. When asked if he would be bringing in the classic comic book accurate Batsuit, Gunn said in the Two Bears One Cave podcast, "None of those things are what's most important to me. What matters is the character, the story. And I think that we have a really, really good story now for what's happening with Batman." There have been no concrete developments regarding Batman, The Brave and the Bold, which is set to be the solo movie on DCU's Batman. However, the Caped Crusader has already made his first appearance, albeit in animated form, in Creature Commandos. There's a religious aspect to so much of this stuff that's very uncomfortable because, should Batman have white eyes? That's a big subject of conversation. And it's like, guys, that's really what matters. But those are the things they care about. Should his utility belt be yellow? Should he have the yellow crest around the bat? All of that sort of stuff. The filmmaker mentioned how he has been asked about the comic-accurate blue-gray suit for the Caped Crusader, but has also received contradictory demands from other fans. Hence, he mentioned, it was not important for him, and that he prioritized story over everything else. Gunn has also been front and center as the co-chief of DC Studios and regularly takes questions from fans. So, fans no doubt have demands for their favorite characters, and Gunn cannot just say he did not listen and did his own thing. Some might say that it is not possible to do Batman without it being gritty, and to them, I say, Adam West's Batman existed. James Gunn said in the podcast that the Batman he fell in love with was the 70s Neil Adams comics that took the character back to his dark and brooding roots after West's version mellowed him down. Reading the sort of early 70s Neil Adams Batman comics that were much darker and grittier. And I was like, oh, I like this Batman. You know, I had seen like the sillier Batman. And I'd seen the sillier Batman on TV, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And it was supernatural Batman, too, which is something we've never seen Batman in, like a sort of supernatural environment. While Gunn may say that he is fond of a supernatural Batman, it is highly unlikely that such an iteration would make it into the DCU, as Superman and Peacemaker have already established the tone of the franchise. We had incredible takes on Batman with Zack Snyder's DCU and Matt Reeves' ultra-realistic The Batman. The DCU's Batman will have to double down and go the absolute Batman way, or fans will have to make do with a lighter caped crusader. What do you think James Gunn will do with Batman in the DCU? Comment below. There's a religious aspect to so much of this stuff that's very uncomfortable because, should Batman have white eyes? That's a big subject of conversation. And it's like, guys, like, that's really what matters. But those are the things they care about. Should his utility belt be yellow? Should he have the yellow crest around the bat? All of that sort of stuff. The filmmaker mentioned how he has been asked about the comic-accurate blue-gray suit for the Caped Crusader, but has also received contradictory demands from other fans. Hence, he mentioned, it was not important for him, and that he prioritized story over everything else. Aaron Pierre's unfortunate departure from MCU's Blade worked in DC's favor following his casting in the shoes of Jon Stewart. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Aaron Pierre will play Jon Stewart opposite Kyle Chandler's older Hal Jordan. While the plot remains under wraps, showrunner Chris Mundy's recent comment does hint toward Stewart taking the reins as the main Green Lantern moving forward. Before joining the DCU as Jon Stewart in HBO's Lanterns, Aaron Pierre was cast in the MCU's Blade, starring Mahershala Ali. However, after several changes in writers, coupled with Hollywood strikes and the MCU's shifting direction, the movie has fallen off the CBM giant's radar, and as of now, everything in relation to this project remains shrouded in uncertainty. Although it remains unclear whether Ali will return to the gig, Pierre, on the flip side, was let go following the shift in its creative direction, leaving the actor with a valuable lesson via Men's Health. I remember being cast in Blade and feeling elated. But something I learned during that time was that until you step foot on the set, you haven't commenced work. It just took a different creative direction, and I was no longer a part of it. You have to accept that. Pierre, who was filming Netflix's Rebel Ridge when he was let go from Blade, didn't have to wait much longer to nab another CBM role, thanks to Lanterns Our show is in a lot of ways about replacement. When should someone step aside and when is it time for the next person to take the reins? That push and pull between those two characters is really important. So much of the power that Jon has is by not taking the bait, understanding that you lose your power if